Today we'll learn about how to fight back after you blunder. I'm sure it happened to all of us at some point. Has
Never.
it happened to you, and how do you usually react?
Yeah, luckily I've never ever blundered in my whole life. So for me, this
Oh,
is going
maybe
to
you
be,
should give our lesson actually,
yeah,
because that
that's going to be one of our
I
next,
would
how
I
to
would
never
rather learn
blunder.
that than learn how to fight back after the blunder.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, how often did this happen? Countless times. The weaker you are in chess, the more often it probably has happened, and it's part of the progress. And probably this is a very valuable lesson because it's difficult to come back after a blunder. Maybe you have some ideas, recipes, or tips and tricks for us. Let's go.
Yeah, this happened to me many times too, and I you also always first get a bit mad in your head, but after that you try to look what is left in the position. Is there any complication that you can hang on to? Because really the game is not done until it's really over. And I want to show some concrete game examples of really cool comebacks and talk about a few strategies and mindset tips that I saw from these players and that apply in general. So this first game is by Magnus Carlsen against Gawain Jones, and this one is from Tata Steel 2018. And I don't know if you would know this game, but this was a game where Magnus just blundered a piece.
That
And
even if Magnus even blunders, I feel a little bit better. Now, the
yeah,
great big question is going to be probably when did he blunder? Was it in
yeah.
kind of the opening? Because when it was kind of in the opening, then oh, look at this
No, I'm just
Yugoslav
showing this side.
variation of the dragon.
Yes, I knew you would like it. This is the Sicilian dragon. This
Yes.
is all
Oh,
theories so far. Did you learn this
Queen
line as well?
Queen E1 is very rare and is to according to Chris Ward,
Well, there's
it's
capture, right?
yes, there's capture normally, capture on C6 too. So Queen E1 is a very interesting line.
Yeah, it's the second. Maybe it gained popularity, but it's the second most popular after the capture.
For
So
real? Wow.
maybe it gained some popularity, but
Hmm.
I do agree that it looks a bit weird to give black all this space, but of course white pieces are also well prepared for it. So this is what happened. Some critical moments I'll skip over a bit. Like, no, I'll skip over some moments to only get to the critical ones. So here, position is fine, but Magnus plays g4, which is a total blunder. When some people thought Magnus just sacrificed it on purpose, but he later confirmed that he didn't when it was not on purpose. So what do you think? Why is this a blunder?
Yeah, first I have to quickly check like what the heck did he even sacrifice? Because at the moment I am not very aware of the sacrifice yet. Is it? No, it cannot be. Bishop h6 is an idea. I don't know.
No,
No.
it's not bishop h6. It's just f4.
Okay.
And this bishop is attacked while this knight is also attacked.
Oh, that took me a while. I mean, that sounds very unfortunate. How can I come back from this blunder? Svetlana, please help me.
Yes, that's we'll see a few games. We'll see a few games
Okay.
and talk about some mindset tips too. So he he just blundered a piece with f4,
Wow.
and basically whenever that happens, it's kind of important to just try to make the best of it because you cannot change the past, but you can try to play on from there. So he gives up this bishop for it, and he thought, okay, let me just play a few moves, see what I can get out of this position. Because even at this level, as you can see, it's not the game is not even completely over. So now he sacrificed this knight, but it's not really a sacrifice because he gets it back if they were to go for this variation. So this was okay, but basically he's just playing with the bishop for a pawn this whole time. And as the defending side, it actually would make a lot of sense to lock the position to just not allow any attack to go on. But as the side that is trying to make something happen that has just blundered, you should try to go for some sort of pawn storms or some sort of attack. Basically, anything complicated where the opponent can possibly make a mistake. So what Gawain Jones does here is he plays queen b6, which is a very natural desire to trade queens, but unfortunately, that's what actually ended up being the wrong move. So what do you think white should do?
Hmm. Okay. I think taking the knight with the rook.
Oh wow.
That was a bit too much,
Yes,
right?
let's sacrifice more. No, it's not that, but it's always an idea. So like it's one of the main tactical
Yeah.
ideas in this position is to at a right moment do this. It's just not this here, but it would be fun if it worked, but I think it just doesn't work perfectly here because black is, well, I would have, oh, actually, this rook is
Ah,
defended actually, but I wanted to,
true. Okay, okay, okay. Oh
yeah.
well, I would have lost the game. So what, yeah, what to look for? What is the best idea here? I mean, there's this pin with the bishop and d5 and e6, so there must be some kind of way on how to make it happen like that. Is it just queen a3?
Queen a3 happens a little bit later,
Mm,
so basically you got the right concept is that we definitely don't want to trade queens.
yeah.
That's the one thing that we're all sure of. Whenever you're down some material, you probably want to keep as many pieces on the board as you can. So here, though, there is a trick. And the trick is that this queen cannot be taken because black ends up losing due to
Now
your
we have the
exact
rook.
idea with rook d5 in the end. So first he
Crazy.
understood that, so he can keep the queen on there for now. And because he can keep the queen on there, he will just try to open up the king side with g5.
Wow.
So that's what happens.
Brave.
And after the capture, the queen went away. So now he did avoid the queen trade, which is what you suggested. He made his king safe. And now, anytime you can gain back some material, he takes it. For me, it was hard to understand this queen a7 move because everything is going on that side. Why would you take a random pawn on this side?
Uh-huh.
But it actually has nothing to do with the pawn and more just with tying black's pieces. So it just ties the queen to defending this rook and it ties this rook to defending that bishop for a few moves, which is a bit useful for us. And now suddenly black starts being a bit inaccurate. And how is the position looking now? Would you say that black has a big advantage still, or maybe not?
Well, if this would be a new position, and the first thing which comes to mind is that you have to count all the pieces to recognize that you're one piece less or one piece down.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is some kind of language already. So I guess black still has a little plus, but it's very close to equal because the abilities or the chances for white are so many. There's so many nice options. Knight to c5, taking the bishop. The pin is still very active. The rook is on the complete H file. This looks actually, the more I look at it, the more dangerous it feels to me for black.
Yeah, and actually white is winning already,
My gosh.
which was very sudden and, you know, the extra piece is still there, but it's because of that piece activity and the fact that every piece of whites is just better than the opposing
Yeah.
piece from the black side. And here there's also just the fact that the king is very, very open, and there's this tactic with rook g5. The queen cannot take because it has to stay in the defense of that rook. And eventually a few more moves were played. Here it would have been nice maybe if white had blundered again, but I guess you can try to only limit it to once per game.
That's a good
So
advice, right? Only
yes,
one
that's
blunder at a time.
that's the advice. But no, I really like how basically after, like as you can see, after he blundered, he didn't play as if he blundered. He just like maximized each of the pieces that he had left, and like that was basically it, and that's what kind of helped gain this attack. So
I
I think
see.
not playing as if blundered and you trying to make something crazy happen, he just basically improved each of his pieces to maximize their value and minimized the value of the opponent's pieces.
Hmm.
So he even won this rook in the end because black was already in a very, very tough situation and there was nothing left when he finally did this
Whoa.
final rook g7 blow. So the lesson from this was, first of all, that anyone can blunder and you shouldn't blame yourself so much for it.
Even
Um,
Magnus.
Even Magnus can blunder, but what his mindset after it was something to learn from, where he still looked for complications. Here, it's also useful. He didn't let black's pieces untie, so this extra piece wasn't even felt. And yeah, always make threats, avoid trades, and I think what helps you be a better player is like managing that pressure and keeping posing problems. I don't know if you noticed, but every time a good player is worse, they just keep making problems, and you're like, come on, like, why
That's
won't you just
the
lose?
story of my life, yes. And even on the highest level, it turns out that the 2700 wins against the 2600. Like this exact thing. They are worse in the position, according to the
Mhm.
computer, -1, -2. They keep on, keep on, keep on. And some are just expert world level, like Hikaru and Magnus. Yeah, but everybody who is very, very strong has this ability. They're
Yeah,
doing exactly this. So this is really a very, very valuable lesson.
yeah. So just trying to always pose problems is something that we can all do at any
Oh,
level.
I just thought to get stronger. Who's the next
That works
one?
too. I
Yeah.
wish I knew how to do that. So this next game comes from two women players, Armenian Lilith Galojan and Anna Ushanina, who was a former women's world champion. And what happened here was also another piece blunder. And here it was right from the opening. And I'll show it to you because it turned out to be quite common for some reason. But it was a Queen's Gambit where black goes here. It's a rather typical bishop move just to protect that pawn. And white plays knight to g5. Do you see why this is wrong?
Well, it looks very good if you take the bishop.
It
There's double
looks,
pawn, but of course there's a check on a5, and the
yeah,
knight is gone. The old school tactics.
the old school tactic, yeah. And the thing is, this happened in 30 games before, and 10 of them were over 2300 FIDE. So I really don't know what is up in the air for so many strong players like blundering this one.
It must be
But it
perhaps
happens.
this moment where you go like, huh, I think I can attack the bishop there. It's very misplaced. I guess I'll
Yeah.
just play knight g5. Oh,
I feel like one reason might be because they confuse the theory position because
yeah.
you could play
Forget
this and
forget
then play knight
forget
g5.
one move and change the order. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is knight g5 here is the most popular move, so that would make sense. So I guess they just know that idea and automatically try to play it. So yeah, Armenian player Lilith blundered that piece, but she didn't give up. And what would you do if you were white in this situation?
Well, here's another rule. If you would give up here, and this, by the way, a short anecdote. I gave a very, very nice trap, my favorite trap in the French defense, and my opponent fell for it. So after 7 moves, I had a full piece more, and she gave up. And
Mhm.
she was stronger or higher rated than me. But she just
Mhm.
like, she didn't feel like playing, maybe, right? So there's several reasons. But if I play this trap on my blitz opening, in my blitz games, and I played it 1,000 times, you
Mhm.
have to still be very, very precise to not lose against a stronger person. So it's an
Mhm.
opening, you keep on playing, and often enough, the opening traps, and this is what I also noticed, they have counter traps. Because yes, you win a piece, and the engine says, yeah, you're +1 or something, but
Mhm.
actually can backfire dramatically.
Yes, you're right about that with opening traps. I mean, here when you just lost a piece, it's probably more than +1.
Yeah,
It would be we at that point we just stop looking at the engine and we just we just try to play the position. But but no, you're totally right that it takes some precision, and sometimes if you blunder right out of the opening, you can gain something for that blunder. I mean, hopefully. For example, you can gain at least the center, or you can gain some extra development. And whatever advantage you can see, you can try to take that as your self-proclaimed compensation for it. So what White did here is take the center,
exactly.
bishop attacks the queen, so it has to move, and just take the center again. So might as well go all out with the pawns
Yeah.
now that we're in this situation.
And you don't have to worry to play the knight on f3 anymore.
Yeah, so actually her F pawn is free to go because of it. So what do you think? How do you think she continued?
Bishop out to e2 and castling and crunching on f5.
Yeah, that would have been pretty normal as well. She played just G4,
Oh my gosh.
decided to not hold back anymore. But I want to say that recovering doesn't always mean going crazy, but it means posing problems. And I do think that if White's king is not being attacked and that bishop is a little misplaced, why not try to pose
Yeah,
problems like this?
yeah,
So
good
here
thought.
in this case, I don't think this is a case of going too crazy. I think it's fairly safe for White
Yeah,
to do
just go a
so
little crazy, just a
and
little.
justified. Yeah, a little crazy is good after a
And look,
blunder.
now
So
you
I
have
would,
two pawns back, right? No, one.
no, you actually have no pawns back because because of
I
that
just
because
noticed, yes.
Black took a pawn in the beginning. So actually, it's just a full extra piece, but some development is there. So any advantage that you can find, you should take it. Um, yeah, so the game went on. As you see, White is just normal developing pieces and sort of preparing that attack to happen. So for now, just I'll go through it
Yeah.
until it matters. And as you see, she keeps pieces on, so it didn't give up this bishop for that knight because we want as many pieces on the board as possible, as long as it doesn't super like make your position much worse. And one lesson to learn if you're ever on the side with the extra piece or with some extra material, all of these games, the king got in trouble in the end. So the lesson, if you're ever playing from the other side, is
Oh,
just to
Svitlana,
castle.
Svitlana, I want a whole episode about exactly that. How to actually maintain your position when your opponent blundered. That would be
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Maybe one of the future episodes.
True. Well, that would be how to win one positions,
We
and
had that already.
we've
Yeah,
done actually a few lessons on that,
true.
and it's one of the hardest things ever. I
Yeah,
don't know why it's so
yeah.
hard. But no, it's true. We could also do it in a similar format, but it is a really tough thing to do,
It
as you can tell.
is.
But the lesson here is that a lot of them didn't castle in the games that I was finding. So I think the takeaway from that is you should castle if you can. It's really a top priority if you're up material because
Yeah.
that's how all of these comeback games end.
Yeah, don't do what White just did because, yeah.
It looks dangerous, of course, but at least it would have it would have saved a black some time.
Hmm.
So, but instead, Black decided to kind of play on some White's weaknesses and expand on that side. But that ended up being not that effective because White didn't need to castle. If you want to see if you blundered, you can go on a king walk if you want. You can castle if you want.
You
it's
have
really free for all.
freedom when you blundered.
Yes. No, it's there. There is something freeing about it that there's nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose is a very good
Yeah.
statement. Yeah.
And now Black could have still maintained a better position if this knight came back and sort of consolidated, but instead Bishop here happened, and the pieces are a bit loose after this. So Rook here, Knight
Oh my
here,
God, the
and
rook.
now suddenly White took over.
Oh
What do you
yeah.
think is Black's main weakness right now?
The I would say the fifth row because
Yeah.
after e5, I mean, it's difficult to not lose a piece now, right?
No, well, e5 is a very valid move, but I would also be a little bit scared of like things like c5 with
Oh my goodness.
the
Okay,
opening of it.
now I'm
I don't
looking at
know. Maybe
f6
you
and
just
everything.
I don't know. It's starting to look a little too crazy for me. But no, like this is actually a very valid candidate move. There's something just even better.
Okay, how about... Oh, what is better? There's so many nice moves.
This is the main weakness.
Yeah, so it is
Kind of
knight
unexpected.
e5.
Yeah.
I thought about
Unexpectedly,
this
this
earlier.
pawn becomes the main target, and it's
Yeah.
super hard to defend it. So rook f8, but at least um,
Mm.
at least white managed to
Oh, the
gain.
second rook on the fifth row. What
Yeah,
cool
you
game
were
is
right about the
that?
fifth rank. You were right about it. And suddenly white is the one totally attacking, and the difference in material is not felt anymore. So f6, bishop e6, and the game was over very, very soon after the attack just came to life like
Oh
this,
my goodness.
and the game was done.
Yeah.
So as we can see, the lessons from here, the opponent didn't castle. Um, which is a good thing to try to aim for. Try to start a pawn storm if you can, and focus on some loose pieces, whether you can try to attack them.
Hmm.
And she played, yeah, once again, she played as if she wasn't down the piece. It was a dynamic game where all of White's pieces were working, even if they were lacking one of them. Yeah, so the biggest takeaway I think from here as well is to play as if you're not down material. And that's also very relevant for being maybe even just a pawn down or anything else. Because I find that every time I get afraid to and start playing very like conservatively when I'm down a pawn, that's when you just slowly get over like pushed, and outplayed further. But when you try to find some chances and play as if you're not down that pawn, it actually works out for the better.
Interesting. Yeah.
You disagree?
No, yeah,
Sometimes. It depends. I agree.
yes, but I think you are, yeah, it is, it makes sense. It definitely makes more sense.
And this last one, to me, this was the funniest one. You might not recognize it right away, and you might not recognize it from the names, but you will recognize it later because I think this is a position that everybody has seen. This is Emmanuel Schiffers versus Mikhail Chigorin.
Okay.
Maybe that rings a bell, maybe it doesn't, but you'll recognize the position in the end.
Chigorin defense, of course, but yeah.
This one was a bit different. So, this is, for the record, this is from the 19th century. So, the opening is suspicious. But Chigorin was known for this. He actually analyzed a lot of these bad openings and wanted to give a chance to those openings. Engines were not there,
I
so
like to play this opening. Knight takes e5, walks
yeah,
into this little trap of queen e7.
that's what he played. Yeah,
Now, if just for you at home,
yeah. Tell
don't
us.
don't fall for it because queen h5. You might ask, like, why doesn't that work? Well, after g6, which is the normal move, and the knight takes on g6, the queen can take on e4 and snack the knight.
Yeah, that's a really cool. I bet a lot of people would fall for it, and
Yeah, and a lot of people already did fall for that. Yeah, but it
yeah,
splits games mostly. Nonetheless, yeah, this
yeah.
shortly as a short version
No,
of why it
thank you for
works.
showing that, Trav. That was actually really fun. White didn't do that. They just went back,
Didn't fall for
and
it.
of course, White is up a pawn, and it's not the best. But that's not even why I'm showing this game. He blundered something way bigger very shortly. So Black tried to develop, played Queen G6, and what was blundered?
It already happened.
Yes, it's already the blunder has basically
The
happened.
blunder has happened. It's the queen is gone. knight goes to e5, I guess, right?
Yeah, and the queen is gone very shortly. So
Ouch.
yeah, if the queen moves like away somewhere, there's just bishop g4, and there's the king will be gone soon. So there's nothing better to do than just take the knight, and he actually just lost the queen
Okay, doesn't
on
matter.
move 10. Why not?
Doesn't matter.
It
I would
happens.
also keep on playing. Happens to me too.
Yeah, no, it genuinely happens, and like, what else could he do? He just kept playing.
Mhm.
All the pieces are pointing to an attack, though, and suddenly, actually, he's not lost anymore after
So
this move.
what about knight f3 check?
Exactly. That's good.
However, so there's two variations on how to take back.
Yeah.
If
So
you
let's
take
say this
back
one.
with the queen, we give a check on h2.
Yeah.
And if the king moves away, we at least have a draw.
Yep. Exactly. This one is there is just an equal position because white has to go for it and black has to go for it.
But
But
if the
what happened
pawn
in the game was this.
yeah, if the pawn takes. Oh, well, does that work? Yeah, we give a check on h2.
Yes, we do.
And yeah, if the king goes to g2, we just give a check on
Yes, we
h3.
do. That's good. So that's exactly what happened in the game, and this is how black continued the attack. And yeah, it would be nice if they took here, but actually he goes back to h1.
Yeah, only chance, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, can we even win that?
Yeah,
How?
that's the tough moment. Basically, it should be in a lot of these variations, they just end in equality because there's nothing better for black or white to do than just repeat.
Mm,
So I'll just show you the next few moves. He removed the bishop, but then the king goes back.
yeah.
He gave a check, the king went back. He went back, and white here is actually like, no, I'm up a queen. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna
Ah,
repeat king g1.
the trap.
Yeah. Chigurin was the original psychological invented the original psychological trap of making the opponent think he could win. So white just decided to play a different move and let the attack take over from here. And Chigurin plays the next few moves perfectly. Like, there were some only winning opportunities,
Yes.
like, and he just played it perfectly. He put the bishop to this long diagonal. Knight e7 is the only winning move, and he found it. Bishop c6 is the only winning move, and he found it. And this is the start of an extremely famous position. It appears in every tactics book. Um, does this look familiar?
Well, it definitely looks familiar, but I don't recognize the trap, to be honest.
And this is where he could have completely taken over and won.
Okay, so fantastic. But how? How do you do that? That is the trap. Rook h3? No,
Not
it's
rook h3.
so
It's very
weird.
forcing. It's like forcing completely.
Uh-huh. So, okay, I'm looking at maybe it's not even the checkmate, but more like a queen trap.
No, it's a
Maybe I'm wrong.
checkmate.
Oh, it is a checkmate. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Checkmate
What?
in 6, starting from now.
What? I hope you at home have your thinking caps on because I left mine at home. Apparently. What could it be? Come on. Check. Check. That's. Is it just knight f5? It can also not be. I cannot see the like. So if we take the knight on g3,
Hmm.
takes back, check, King goes out to the only spot, which is f2.
Yeah.
And then they will
It
just
escapes
leave.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
It's every single move has to be forcing. So just find every forcing move that exists. Like the only forcing moves that exist.
So check on h1 takes. Rook. No, we're already gone. No, I don't know. It's Svitlana. Oh, I'm so
You're so
embarrassed.
close. You just were on the way. Rook h1. That's the good right first move. Now only possible forcing move.
Rook h8. No, cannot
No,
be.
but
It's terrible. We would lose immediately. What's the only forcing move here?
it's a
Gee.
bit untypical, which makes it hard.
Bishop d4. Also not.
No, it's
No,
a check.
I'm completely lost. It's a check. There's only one
Yes.
check. This
Yeah.
is like the weirdest advice you can give to me. It's a check if there's only
Always
one check.
No, but I'm just serious that it's the only forcing sequence in the position. What's the only check you see?
Well, bishop h2 check.
Okay.
Rook h8 check.
Yes.
Knight f5 check.
Yep.
Rook h4 check. Mate. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Was that tough at home? Did you
It is
find
tough.
it?
It
I
is
could-
tough.
It's not that tough. Actually, I should have found it. I just have to calculate 6 move. It's not that difficult. I feel embarrassed.
It is bishop h2 is a bit untypical, which makes it hard. But this appears in every tactics book. It's such a famous and such a beautiful tactic.
So cool.
But
yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't actually happen in the real game.
No.
I think if he had found it, this would have been the evergreen, immortal game,
Yep,
like everything.
Probably. It's like this goal, which is not a goal after all, because, yeah, some goalkeeper
Yeah.
was standing in between.
So even some people would think that he probably sacrificed his queen for this attack, but no, he just blundered it earlier and then made the most of it. So he played this, which is still good, but it's becomes complicated.
Okay,
And the
I feel
rest
a
of the
bit
game is
better.
just
I feel a bit better, to be honest.
no, for sure. You found it eventually. It's not an easy tactic.
After
And the rest of the
mild
game is full of
hint
blunders.
check. Full of blunders. Oh gosh.
Full of blunders. Almost every move was in some way a mistake or a blunder. Because now, after, I've shown these few moves that were made from both sides, now suddenly white is winning.
Oh no.
Because
She can
he's just up a full queen, so
Yeah.
unless black has a checkmate, it's not possible. But guess what happens instead?
Well, white blunders a piece.
Nope. It's actually more crazy than that. So some checks go on towards that king, and they actually just agree to a draw.
Oh, come on.
But
Oh, the anticlimax.
but it's winning for white. If he just goes this way, he has the defense of queen d3, and he has way too many pieces.
Maybe he swore the opponent that he won't sacrifice the queen back.
Yeah, because the queen d3 is I guess not easy to see, but even so, why could still try to do something different than just repeat the position, but they agree to a draw. And what I mean to say by this game is that literally anything is possible. So you would have never predicted this outcome when that first queen blunder happened. So hopefully that can inspire everyone to try their best, even if these blunders happen, because they happen all the time to
Blunder
everyone.
more queens. That's the main lesson of this today.
That's the lesson you took away from it.
Thank you so much, Svitlana. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Until next time.
Bye bye.